Thank you. So let me start. On behalf of the Alumni Advisory Board, I extend a very warm welcome to all our alumni family members who are here with us today. Wherever you're from, whoever you are, or how you arrived here, you are now, most importantly, a member of a very special community. We all belong here as proud UCT alumni, and we have many good news stories to share with you tonight. I want to especially welcome the Registrar, Royston Pillay, for joining us this evening, and also to mention thank you to Russell, Lebo, Sichle, and Lou for the amazing work they do for us from the Department of Development and Alumni. So thank you, everyone, for the support you give. The Alumni Association's new advisory board was elected at the AGM on the 26th of April 2018. Actually, it was the 25th of April 2018. I'd like to introduce you to some of the members of our new board and ask our members to stand so that everyone can welcome you. We have Paki Zandile, Dr. Aditi Humna, and Nobukusi Dlamini. And we've been sent very special wishes from Geneva, where our Vice Chair, Corin Daniels, has relocated. Hetty needs no introduction. In a recent interview in February 2019, and I was surfing the web, Hetty expressed her vision for an entrepreneurial university as follows. It's a university that promotes a startup mentality and attitude among students. This doesn't mean calling all students to start their own businesses, but it does mean we at UCT are teaching them entrepreneurial skills, ways of thinking that they can use to innovate and improve processes when they eventually enter the workforce as employees.
Thank you, Diana. And thank you very much for welcoming me. It's wonderful to come and talk at the Alumni Association. The Alumni is one of the key constituencies of the university. It's the largest constituency in the university, and it's key. In many ways, it keeps the name of the university alive. When people forget about who we are as a university, it is the alumni who reminds them. You remind them through your work, you remind them through your excellence, you remind them through the positive contributions and the impact that you have in our society. So thank you very much for keeping our name on the top list of important people in the world, not just in the country. So, in reflecting on the past year, I think it's important to acknowledge my predecessor, Dr. Max Price, for his dedication over the first half of the year, 2018. And of course, in the past 10 years, he's made a contribution, and there's a publication that CMD has produced for the 10 years of Max's era and the work that was done in that 10 years. The past 3 years have been hard, and it's quite easy when the last few years of your tenure are difficult that everyone else forgets what happened before then. And if you get that publication, I hope it gets sent to some of you. You will see that, in fact, the past 10 years, much was achieved. And whatever the challenges we had in the past few years, we've got to be grateful for the work that Max did in those 10 years. So that's why I start with this acknowledgement and of the work and dedication that he did in the last 6 months, but also in the 10 years. In 2018, more than 7,000 students graduated, and that's a wonderful achievement. And on December 13th, we had a special graduation ceremony that included my formal installation as Vice-Chancellor. I preferred to be robed within a graduation ceremony rather than have an inauguration, because the focus of any university is our students and their success, and not the installation of a Vice-Chancellor. During that special graduation ceremony, we kept 90 graduates whose debt was paid by generous donation, as well as the money that was budgeted for my inauguration. In April 2018, we celebrated the graduation of 5,200 graduates during 14 ceremonies, and in June, we graduated more than 350 graduates of the Graduate School of Business. We celebrated some of our outstanding colleagues in November at the UCT Annual Awards, a new event which honored in an inclusive manner staff from across the institution. So it's the first time that we bring staff, cleaners, security guards, academics, and past staff in general under one roof to acknowledge their good work that they do for UCT. In a meeting in October with local principals and stakeholders, I shared my vision for UCT and encouraged open dialogue with the university. As a signal of our commitment to inclusivity, I spent a day visiting health sites and community projects on the Cape Flats, Khayelitsha, Crossroads, Hanover Park, Mitchell's Plain, Philippi, and today I spent time at Masiphumelele and Ocean View, where we were launching a project at the Desmond Tutu Center, a facility actually, a research facility in Masiphumelele. And through these visits, one gets to know how our students are learning and contributing. It is important that we do that because we don't exist on our own as a university. The community is here with us, and we are in the community. With a watchful eye on student needs, the Food Security Task Team organized a UCT food security program from the 29th October to 16th November. And in 2019, we will be working on a strategy for a more long-term sustainable project to help those students who need food provided during the academic year. If you've been watching social media, you'll see that that food security program is continuing this year. And our aim is to make sure that it continues, and its success is yours too. UCT does not belong to me or to council. It doesn't belong to the government. It belongs to all of us. It belongs to all of us, alumni, students, academics, professional and support staff, to the entire community of Cape Town and the country. We all need to work together to keep this university great. It is not just in our interest, but in the interests of our country and our continent. I hope to have many more opportunities to discuss with you how you can be directly involved in building the UCT that we want to see for the future. Thank you so much for coming and for your patience in listening to me, Diana. Thank you.
I just wanted to reiterate one of the points that the VC made, that we're delighted that Eddie Maloko is now the president of Convocation, and I also would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to the past president, Lorna Houston, in our absence. But Eddie and I also had a very productive conversation. Many of you may not know that he is a key player in the African Union and particularly responsible for referee teams that go out into Africa focusing on governance issues. So in my meeting with him, we had a really productive meeting, and I think I can answer partially some of the questions about why do we have Convocation, why is the alumni, what Eddie and I have pledged to do, and I'm going to take this back to the Alumni Advisory Board colleagues. We've pledged to work very closely together because he can see a role for him using his networks across Africa so that we can feed in some of our alumni chapters into that work. And we're going to try and dismantle the unseen barrier between Convocation and the alumni so that we work in a more streamlined way. I wanted to also draw your attention to some really exciting new initiatives which some of you may not be aware of. And one of them is the alumni survey, which I think is now live on our website, on the alumni website. If you haven't completed the alumni survey, please do. A critical thing here is to make sure the alumni office has your new and up-to-date details. Another area that I wanted to draw to your attention is the lunchtime screening of Life is Wonderful, one of Mandela's unsung heroes, on the 13th of April at lunchtime. It's taking place at Snookies in Hout Bay. And this is an initiative which is being supported by the Alumni Advisory Board, but also the Alumni Office, and the Dennis Goldberg Legacy Foundation. The film focuses, and some of you may know it, on the Rivonia trial movie, which featured alumnus Dennis Goldberg. The third area that I wanted to draw attention to is that of summer school and the Department for Extramural Studies. And I'm delighted to report that they're both being integrated into the Alumni Office, or Alumni Relations, recognizing that these entities really have been supported by thousands of alumni over many, many years. We think that the relocation will offer us the opportunity to reconnect with many alumni who may have disconnected, but also offer more opportunities to widen the demography so that summer school attracts a much broader cross-section of our younger alumni. My concluding thoughts are that I'm really inspired and motivated by the work we all do to connect, reconnect, and reach out to all our diverse alumni. As members of a special community at UCT who've benefited from special opportunities through our education at UCT, we also have some very special responsibilities. And I think that Hetty mentioned some of those. Even though some of our experiences may not have been optimal in the past, as special UCT graduates or attendees of UCT, we all have obligations arising from our association with Africa's premier university. Well, thank you all very much for coming and participating, and look forward very much to seeing you at some of the exciting new events around the country, because we are going out of the building and into local communities, and I think that it's really inspiring when we see what everyone's doing rather than looking and gazing from the hill. So join us, and we look forward to your involvement and engagement. Thank you very much.